Hello summoners, welcome back to another tier list update for the month of February, the second tier list of the year, and we have two pretty damn good characters coming in, Cassie Lang as well as Ant-Man Future. I will scroll till the bottom so you can take a look at the entire list. You can pause it or you can go to the link in the description in order to review this for yourself. Now we have some changes as well along with the two new characters and the buff. Valkyrie ended up being in the highest tier. We'll discuss a little bit about all of the changes as well. Captain America Infinity War got demoted, Aegon got double demoted, Gore was upgraded, and Stark and Spider-Man was also upgraded. So let's talk about the new characters first, then we'll talk about the buff, then we'll talk about the changes. I guess that's how we will roll. So first of all, Cassie Lang, probably one of the better power string characters. Any character that has phase, I usually say they can become really crazy, especially in good hands and once people get used to them. Cassie Lang, I have seen a couple of videos of her being used in battlegrounds. She seems pretty damn good because of her power stings are kind of crazy. We will see how she performs in the long run, but as of now I'm pretty happy with where she is. She has, I will say, between the two characters, I personally at least prefer Cassie Lang over Ant-Man Future, although he is also a very solid character. So let's talk about him next. Ant-Man Future released just yesterday, hasn't even been 24 hours since his embargo, so kind of still new to talk about him. But I will say this, his playstyle, his animations are amazing. He's very fun to play and all, but the playstyle is a little, like, it's something that will probably take a while to get used to. I kind of felt the same way with Valkyrie, initially when she came out with her combos and how that worked. It's not a character you can just pick up and play well. But at the same time, it's not a character like Quake or Tigra where you have to practice or master the character itself. It's just a character that you have to play with for a while, and then you get used to that. So Ant-Man Future, I feel like a lot depends on timing, on how much, like, you have to keep an eye on how much power you have and what debuff is expiring, to keep all three of the debuffs on the opponent. When you launch the massive SP2, you have to keep an eye on your charges. I do like whenever they do this, have an alternate way of gaining his 10 charges. You can intercept, or you can just bait a heavy attack, which is much easier for a lot of people. So Ant-Man Future, overall I do see the potential. Even though I didn't play him perfectly, he still finished at a decent time. I will say, like, the massive SP2s and the potential that this character has cannot be denied. And yeah, Ant-Man Future, maybe in the future he may go up. We'll see how he does. And now coming on to the changes. Well, Valkyrie is a character who has been smashing battlegrounds. She also has crazy high prestige if you care about that, but even otherwise, she used to be a character who I again thought was hard to play, but not really. And you get used to her fairly quickly, and block, like, when the opponent is blocking, the damage you can do is insane. In order to make them block, you can get that debuff. So overall, like, she is a very strong character in my opinion. There is some AI manipulation you can do with her. The SP2 into the block will probably do enough damage to finish most fights anyways. Even if it doesn't, even after that, if you hit into the block, you're doing crazy damage. Like, my rank 4-1 was doing like 26,000 mediums on blocks, and like 16,000 light attacks or something. So she is absolutely crazy. Just all of that combined, being good in battlegrounds, having solid prestige, having also like the nodes where you only do damage, like you do more damage on blocks and otherwise you don't do as much damage. Those nodes are also kind of common, to be honest. So for all of that combined, I think it gives her, like, she deserves this place. And do let me know if you disagree with that. Now moving on, let's talk about Captain America Infinity War. So Cap Infinity War used to be in your grace for a very long time. The only thing you can see to understand how old this character is the IW stands for Infinity War, and that movie came out a long time ago. So what makes him good even now? He is still very relevant. you may not see him as much, may not see many people using him, but he is still very, very good. Because if you have him at a high sig, the utility that he provides is insane. And as well, or like on top of all that, the parries, the block proficiency, and the fact that if they add SP2 crits, it can do a lot of damage. He doesn't have a particularly high crit rate. If it doesn't crit, then his damage is very, very average, if you ask me. But overall, like, as a character, also countering unstoppable, of course, he still brings so much to the table. Again, if you have him at high seg, like, you can get petrify on demand, you can get armor break on demand. There's just so much you can do with him that he is still very good. But at the same time, I feel like at this point, these 4 characters are just better. Like, if somebody asks me in comment section these 5 characters who to rank up, I will probably, first character to rule out would be Cap Infinity War, and then between these 4 we'll see. Next up, the change list, we have Stark and SpiderMan, who is also a super old character. At one point he was part of the Holy Trinity. When rank 5 stars were initially introduced, most profiles you would only see 2 characters, either Blade or Stark and SpiderMan. He was that good. He was the second best character in the entire game at one point. Now that is no longer the case. It hasn't been the case for a very long time, but I feel like after Battlegrounds he kind of came up in the meta. Him and Stealth Spidey both. Stark and Spider-Man is kind of an interesting character. There are 2 sides to him being user friendly, like noob friendly, because at one side he does have auto evade, which is huge for new players who, especially at this point when it must be overwhelming. Like, I have been playing the game for so many years now that I only need to learn 2 characters animations every month, which is fine. But if you are joining now, 200 plus characters, learning different animations and how to evade them can be very hard. So Stark and Spider-Man in the hands of a new or newish intermediate player, that kind of range, is huge. And on top of that, he has Taunt. If you're not great at baiting special, leaving yourself open, Taunt might help you. And even if that doesn't work, maybe you can use the one-time heavy attack thing to power drain. It recharges, but usually, by the time it recharges, the fight will be done, because he does have crazy high damage output as well. For Battlegrounds as well, the auto evade or the special attacks might help you even like avoid some block damage. You still have Taunt, you have the one edge power drain, and you will finish fights very, very quickly. He is super good. The other side of the argument is that because in order to build poise charges, you have to dash back. If you mindlessly dash back, you will probably end up against the wall, and playing up against the wall is not very comfortable for most players, I will say, unless you are a Quake god. So people end up getting hit there. But usually, like, Stark and Spider-Man, I feel like is kind of a beginner friendly character. So if you are very new to the game, maybe make him a priority to rank up. But even generally, even in in-game content, he is nice to have. He has his uses, and he is still very fun to, like, big yellow numbers, power and utility, all of that. He has it all. Next up, we have Aegon, the person who fell the most. So Aegon, I feel like, all these colors, kind of like hydrogen in periodic table, he is separate in the tier list. He doesn't really have a rank, because the content where you want to use Aegon, there is no one better. If you are going to do Labyrinth of Legends today, you have Aegon, and anybody else in the game, Aegon is probably the way to go. Same goes for Abyss. They are the characters you need, they are the characters you will want to have on your team and stuff. But at the same time, for Everest content, Aegon is the king, will always be the king. He is a very specialist, very niche kind of character. But how many Everest quests are there in the game? Not that many. Sometimes there are celebrity challenges and stuff where he comes in very handy, because if you want to take all the paths, you can easily build them up. In stuff like Incursion, he can come in handy. But there's just so many better champions to rank up that I feel like Aegon, if you have a rank 5-star one, that is enough. You don't need anything more than that. So that's how I feel about Aegon. You want to have him, ranked up, but max, like, rank 5-star, rank 3-6-star, that is more than enough. You do not want to use your biggest catalyst on him. He should not be a priority. And to be honest, at this point, Labyrinth rewards are very outdated. Abyss rewards are not completely irrelevant, but they're not crazy either. Not what they used to be. You know, it has been in the game for a while now. So all that being said, I feel like Avon is not a priority rank up at all. So that's why he went down a lot in this particular list. I don't know why he was up for that long. Somebody pointed it out in the last video. I think that is all the changes that I had in this one. Do let me know if you want me to make more. If I will do that in the next video. And if you are new here, then this is the synergies tab. This is the DPS tab that hasn't been updated in a long time. These are numbers for rank 5-star characters which use masteries against Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. And yeah, do let me know how you feel about the list. These are the emojis if you are wondering what those mean. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Like, share, subscribe, stay safe, have a good one, and bye bye.